It's just a place to feel good. So let's get started. So I'm going to start just by going around the energy and just giving you a couple moments of breathing deeply, just inhaling and exhaling. Okay. So let's just start by making sure the energy is good. Now I'm curious, have you ever gotten your a picture of your aura? It's actually pretty cool. It changes. I think it's kind of like like a personality test. It changes over time, but it's not necessarily supposed to change all the time. I don't know. I don't take pictures of auras, so I can't tell you. But it's actually really fascinating because well, mine anyway, really did speak to my personality at that time, or in general. Mine was this like very lavender purple color. I was like, yeah, that's me. Very much so me, always into everything that's like crown chakra and things like that, the highest self, blah 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 blah. I'm like, yup. So I wonder what color your aura is. So as you're breathing in and out, just release and relax. And just find peace in this moment, okay? With yourself. And be open to internal changes that happen. Completely normal. Sometimes it's like you get hungry, you're like, what is that? It's normal, baby, it's normal. And just relax in the moment. And just shifting. And so what you'll probably be feeling in this moment is, it really is different for each person. But it might feel like that's the best way to describe it, like a subtle shift in your energy. I feel like that didn't help, right? Sometimes it's a cooling sensation, sometimes it's a warmth, sometimes it's described as a chill, but just going in a certain direction. There's no wrong answers, everybody's body is different, and we should honor that. Sometimes people feel nothing at all, and that's okay too. Don't force yourself to feel like you need to feel anything. Okay. Just honor this beautiful body you are in now. I don't know, something about this month is just like, you just love yourself even more. You feel me? Like you're just like, oh, I love me, exactly as you are. Doesn't mean that you can't do whatever it is you want to do, but at the core, just loving yourself unconditionally for every aspect, internally, mentally, emotionally, physically, all that stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's something in the water or the air. Whatever. I'm down for it. Also, for those who are interested in the Reiki Master Teacher Training, I have not forgotten you all. It will actually be happening in September. So, updating the site, and you're going to have all that information there. Mama has been very busy. And I take the training very seriously, so I will not put out anything that is not of the highest quality, and that's just me. It is what it is. And as I've told people before, if you feel like you need to get a training right now, there are tons of great practitioners out there who can help along the journey. And for those who really feel like this is where it's at, you know what? It's worth the wait. But again, it is not a requirement. You do not have to go through me. Okay. I guess for me, as I'm working on your energy, mentorship is really important, and having enough time and resources to be able to actually give people the background knowledge and to show them how to explore their own unique approach to this modality is really important. So it's not also don't know if you all are curious about this, but ASMR is not a requirement within Reiki. You know, Reiki got very, very popular because of the ASMR artists who did Reiki role plays. And so, you know, ASMR is something I love, 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 love. And as a Reiki practitioner, I just think it pairs so well together. But it's not a requirement. It's not a requirement at all. In fact, hands-on sessions feel a lot differently than distant sessions. Distant sessions like what we're doing right now online. I knew off the bat that I wanted to do distance, even though my training was hands-on, and it actually luckily turned out to give distance experience too. But I just knew, okay, that's my bag. That's where I'm gonna be. That's where I feel comfortable. That's where, you know. But I'm not gonna lie, you know, before the pandemic, I had an in-person practice, and sometimes I do be feeling like opening them doors back up. But it's a lot. So now just bringing some smiles. Every time I go into a session, I think to myself, I'm like, I am just going to focus on working on the energy, and then I get to talking, and you all don't stop me from talking, you know. I mean, physically in this moment you cannot stop me from talking, but then you encourage me in the comment section, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna keep on talking. The energy healing circles that are on Patreon, they were in real life physical, and I definitely miss those. But I will say that on Patreon, it's nice because there's so many people all over the world who get to participate, rather than just local to the area that I'm in, which is the DMV, like DC area. So there you go. Also, shout out to all the people who see me. And you all are so sweet because y'all don't talk to me. I don't know why. I'm a very approachable person. But y'all are so cute. Y'all are like, nah, I don't want to say anything. But I think that's like the DC. I think that's the DC area. We don't talk to each other. I don't know why. I love talking to people. But then I probably have a DC face too. Like, okay. So now to focus back on you as we have chilled with our chit-chatting. For this no fear energy, what's coming in front for you, you know? What energy do you want to connect to and connect with so deeply? What fears are you facing? You know, when you face your fears, sometimes it's not even this scary thing, but more of this dismantling of a thought system that is just not real. And dismantling those thoughts, sometimes it's like the only thing you really have to do. Like, that's not real, and you show up the next day and you're like, oh wow, I wasted a lot of time thinking that this was real when it wasn't. But also know that there are sometimes that take a lot of steps. Like, you really have to face a fear, you really have to feel uncomfortable, you know, blase. And that's okay. That is okay. So I'm gonna just take a couple moments here, and you can choose to have your hands in any position. Hands up if you're trying to receive, hand down if you're like, oh, I got too much energy, I'm trying to calm down. Okay, good job. Energy in and out, and just working on it in the moment. So in this moment, look, I'm always trying to teach some shit. In this moment, sending and setting the intention that you are receiving the greatest amount of whatever it is you need in the moment. Sometimes it's like energy, sometimes it's peace, it's calm, sometimes it's letting things go. But knowing that your body is smart and intelligent and perfect enough to know what it needs. Okay. body to just be in this moment and relax. Energy healing is a very interesting modality because it is our original, both spiritual / religious and medical system as a human species. And thankfully, over time, we have expanded to other things as well. Y'all know me, I'm a proponent of just give us all the good stuff, give us the mindfulness, give us the energy healing, give us the medicine, give us all this stuff, okay? You want as many people on your team at one time, not just, one of one thing. And energy healing is so interesting because our original energy healers are, for the lack of a better word, the shamans of the indigenous cultures around the world. So nowhere in the world, or better yet said, everywhere in the world has its first people. Even as we explored as a species, going to different places, and those people were, they used what they had available to them, which was their senses, and which was the heightened development of these other aspects too that science is catching up to over time, But I just think it's really fascinating because there is quackery out here. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I've been going to some of these conventions and I was like, no. No. And then, I have these amazing, just so many stories of these amazing energetic experiences within this modality. So it's just I get you. I see both, baby. I see both. That's why I always encourage you to continue to explore. That's why I always encourage you to be as open as possible, to get as much help as possible, to be connected to all this beautiful energy. And what it actually teaches us is the subtleness of mindfulness, or the subtleness of self-care, or just sometimes we try to make everything so complicated. You feel like you need this fancy tool, or all of these crystals, or this electronic, super expensive electronic device, when sometimes all you have is you. And so it teaches how to you to regulate yourself. But again, I tell people all the time, there are other things that you should be doing too. If you're lucky enough to have access to adequate health insurance, I know you better be getting a therapist, you better be going to the doctor. Come on now. If you're that lucky, if you don't take your ass somewhere. And then I've also been on the other side where you go to certain places and then you kind of get funneled into maybe a system that isn't solving your problem, so it requires you to go out and get some more to it. And my favorite combination is being able to see through your actual medical documentation that there are shifts and changes happening through your body with a combination of things. So I think it's nice just giving yourself lots and lots and lots and lots of love. And I know that it sounds like, okay, girl, love is the solution to everything, but what I'm trying to get at is the better or the more positive associations you have with yourself, the easier you are on your body. If your body is in a perpetual state of stress, if your body is in a perpetual state of conflict that requires your organs and your regulatory systems to work much harder, but when you are in a state of, love and peace and gratitude for yourself, you make it easier on yourself. So if you have other things that you're dealing with too, it exacerbates what's going on. But when you're loving and sweet to yourself, it's kind of like the first layer you have so that your body can potentially bounce back as you're going through things. So I'm just trying to be as sweet as possible. And again, you all know I'm paid in smiles, so got it. Just being in this moment and sharing this space. Also, if there are any video requests, let me know, because I would love to see what you all would like. Well, so this is cinnamon. I tell y'all all the time because y'all always think it's a blunt. It is not. It's cinnamon. See? Cinnamon. It's actually I got this from a Botanica, and I really like this one because usually I just get the one, the kitchen cinnamon, but this is really nice. Yeah, a little bit. It still burns long, but it's like it's easier to light. So I'm gonna go ahead and light this, and we're gonna get started with cleansing your energy. Okay. I'm just going to breathe in and out here, in and out, in and out, in and out. Beautiful. Beautiful. Cinnamon brings us a lot of root chakra lessons, and those root chakra lessons are all about stability, consistency, feeling protected, feeling safe, feeling secure. So cinnamon brings that into the energy. Exhale and just allow me to cleanse out anything that is no longer serving you, anything that is not for your highest vibrational good, that needs to be released back into the universe, to be surrendered into its next karmic existence, so that you yourself can be whole in who you are. It's still lit, that white part right there, that's actually hot. When it completely cools, it will turn black. But that is why I love cinnamon, because of how long it keeps lit. Do you see that? Just follow that. Follow that. Working on your first layer. Working through that aura. And just removing any stress, any negativity, any old stuff that needs to be removed. Go ahead see the highest experience learned and let go of all the other stuff, okay? What did you get out of the experience? How did it shape you? Now look at the power you have. How does it grow you? How does it free you? How does it balance you? How does it keep you? Look at this entire journey of all of these lifetimes. Look at what your life is and find that peace. 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 Just breathe into the cinnamon. Follow it. Allow it to do its job, making you whole, giving you balance, giving you comfort, cleansing and letting go, releasing anything that no longer serves you, anything that prevents you from your happiness, from your purpose, from your path, anything that needs to be let go. 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 Release it. Release it. Release it. Release it. Release it. Release it. Release it and let it go. Now take a couple moments just to feel in your body and just be with yourself here. Be with yourself here. Be with yourself. Be with yourself. And exhale. In each breath, you're supposed to feel lighter and lighter because you see how everything that you want, everything that you needed to know, has always been available to you whenever you needed it. At any moment. At any moment. At any moment. It is available to you. It is available to you. So now I'm just going to go through and work that energy. Kind of whipping it up like some whipped cream to release it and allow it to move on to its next journey, freeing you from anything that feels too heavy for you, or just you're ready to let it go.
wisdom inside of you. So let's just remove some of that came up that needs to be sent away, needs to be removed from your energy. And let's embrace all that is you, all of that potential, all of that growth, time, you can use the comment section as a journal, a diary reflection. Also, if there's any requests, healing sessions we want to share with the community, you can do so there. So let's move this about, move this about, move this about. Just particularly taking on anything that is no longer serving you, okay? That needs to be released, needs to be released, needs to be released, needs to be released, 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 and let go, and let go, and let go, and let go. Okay, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of cinnamon. Just to help in the process. Okay. Got it. Okay. So let's just put this around you. Okay. Okay. Got it, got it. And just relax into this moment. Relax into this moment. Relax into yourself. Relax in the beautiful energy that surrounds you, that is around you. Relax into every moment. Relax into clarity and joy. Relax into it. Being at peace with the energy that is you. Being at peace with the strength, the balance that is you. energy, 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 energy. Okay. Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. Now let's move on to balancing your energy. So, breathing in here, just taking a couple moments. I'm going to go in with some Reiki symbols, but just allow everything that needed to be let go to be freed from the body. Allow the aura around a protective layer to be balanced. And now to balance the energy as a whole, just bringing this soothing energy in, okay? Take a couple deep breaths for me. Okay, just wiping the mind essentially so that you don't hold on to anything you don't need. Letting go of anything that is no longer for your highest vibrational good on this path, and letting it go. Okay. Moving this around, this energy around, and just cleansing now the physical body so that it is in its highest health and protection. Okay. 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 Got it. Bring it down now to the legs so that you're rooted firm in who you are and how you are. Okay. Down to the feet. Down to the feet. Down to the feet.
just relax, take a couple deep breaths, and I'm going to go ahead and do the prayer. Dear Mother, Father, God, and all for the highest vibrational good, please connect us to the Reiki Masters, the Ascended Masters, Master Jesus, Master Buddha, Master Katumi, Yamonja, Oshun, Mawu, and all the Taras. Please connect us to the Archangel Spirit, Guide Spirit, animals, our lineage, and all for our highest vibrational good only, rooting us down in our individual healing experience, bringing us forth as a community, and allowing us to cleanse our aura for a beautiful and brighter future. I say all of this in the name of I am, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. And let it be so it is, amen, whatever you want to call it, okay? So just going to start in here, just working this energy around you. And I want you to just take a couple of deep breaths on your own and just get as comfortable as possible. Hopefully the whispers give you kind of like audible tingles, and then the hands give you this visual tingle work as I work on you energetically. So we're all doing work here, you feel me? I'm gonna go in and do some symbols. Okay. So relax. Breathe deeply. Just allow your eyes to just become very natural. And just allow me to move through your aura, your subtle bodies, your energetic systems around your body. Beautiful. It is a lovely, lovely energy. Just clearing out. Okay. It's been a while since we did a little chit chat though. How have you been? What have you been up to? What is new for you? Is there anything we want to focus on to just remove that from the lens? Let that go. Okay. Beautiful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay. So I'm just going to send you sending out a ton of love to all of you out there. As our journeys may be different, but yet we come together. It is a wonderful experience. I appreciate all of you all who comment, and I get to see, a little glimpse into your lives. And it's always so wonderful as we continue to grow as a community in love and light and peace and all of that stuff in our own individual healing journeys. Also, I have opened us up to TikTok. So if you want to see 15 seconds to a minute, a couple times a week, I put a link to the TikTok in the description box, so that's always fun. It's to, some of my favorite music, so that's always fun. Beautiful. Just clearing that out for you. And allowing you to step forward into your new self, your new way of being. And all of those who are on the Reiki certification waitlist, you all have been receiving the emails. We are very, very close. It opens up August 1st, the registration, so only if you're on the wait list do you get that information. But I've had the time of my life coming up with this training so that it is valuable and that it's merged everything that I have learned, not just in my Reiki training, but in my intuitive training, in the other modalities that I know, every aspect of healing and connecting with the higher metaphysical principles of the universe, and having all of that, boom, in the training. And of course, it is hybrid, so half of it is online and the other half we will meet for a live session. That's where you get your attunement, and that's where we continue the learning, the knowledge, the practice, all of that. Beautiful. Thank you everyone who came up with the wonderful, wonderful July names. Y'all did a fantastic job, like top notch, jumping into July, joyfully filled July. Y'all did the thing, okay? Beautiful. Just take a couple more breaths here. Just enjoying this. So for all of you all who have been a part of the community, for a while, you probably remember the beginning where I did not show my face and it was mostly hands. So tomorrow we're gonna do a throwback Thursday and you're gonna get some hands. You're not gonna get your face, just gonna get some hands. And that'll be fun. only thing that really pops out could be Mother, Father, God, to show that balance between the feminine and the masculine in a non-gendered way, just a balance of energy flowing back and forth, or whatever, or however you view higher power. If you view it, it's not a requirement. In the Ashe, which comes from the Yoruba, similar to how we would look at chi or life force energy, in the name of I am, meaning you co-create the life that you live. That the way that you view things in your mind always comes to be. So if you surround yourself by people who are negative, and you, including yourself, are constantly thinking negative thoughts, that's what you attract, because the mind is so powerful. A lot of the times when we do manifestation work, or we can call it like magic or something like that, it really isn't this thing of like, oh, it's coming from your hands, or it's coming from, you doing this spell. It's coming from the mind. The mind is the most powerful thing we have, and we barely use it to its fullest capacity. Like when we get into mediumship, or we get into intuitive work, that's coming from right up here. So it is expansive and it is growth oriented, but most importantly, it is here for you on your path. As you go on your path, feel very comfortable trusting in yourself. Don't feel like you gotta trust in things outside of yourself. Trust in yourself first, and then the right things will fall into place, okay? Always bet on yourself. So now that I'm done talking about that, we're gonna go into the Reiki symbols, and I honestly take a moment to talk about these things because my number one pet peeve within our spiritual communities is when people don't reflect on things for what they are. Everybody wants to manifest something, but does everybody always talk about like letting things go before you can even manifest it, or even questioning yourself, wondering why you want a certain thing? Sometimes you're at a vibrational state that actually isn't where you are destined to go. So if you start to manifest things from that vibrational state, then you will begin to receive things that actually aren't where you need to go. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like you're a big fish in a small pond, but you need to continue to expand. But if you only keep your dreams small, then you won't really get what you deserve. And so I always like to take a moment to say, sometimes it's better to just let life flow, and also know how to adjust when life isn't happening the way you want. And that doesn't really even take any kind of manipulation or anything like that. Just understand the wisdom that comes. That's what I realized all of the years. I was actually talking to Refocus, my sister, about this. The more that we learn, the more we practice, the more we release, surrender, and just allow it to be. You don't feel like you gotta go out your way to do things. You trust that the universe will send it to you at its right time. You no longer look at things in like a positive or negative thing. You see it as a way for your soul to expand, and you feel like more in control of your energy without having to manipulate everything outside of you. Okay, I'm gonna sit down now. Okay. So gonna go in now with the Reiki symbols. And if you want to learn more, that is what the Reiki level 1 certification is for. And I'm in such a teaching mood that I couldn't help but have that conversation. But let's just go in here and just balance out the energy. So just going in and starting to move things around and just making sure it's aligned. Okay. And shifting it so that your entire life has been building up to this one moment in which you can raise your vibrational frequency and allow your soul to grow. And the only permission you need, the only tools you need, the only situation or scenario you need, the only person you need is yourself, and to give yourself permission to do it. Letting go of the baggage, letting go of the past, letting go of preconceived notions, beliefs, and all this other stuff. You get to empower yourself to go much further and much farther than what anyone told you. Now, it's a little difficult when you're surrounded by energy that is reinforcing these things that aren't in alignment. But if you can find the strength within you to get yourself to where you need to go in a vibrational state, you know, your potential is unlimited. You can do anything, and the most beautiful thing about it is when people get to that state, even though they can do anything, they just end up doing what they love, and it gives them more than what maybe a societal positive thing to do is. When you get to the space where you just have unconditional love for yourself, where you feel in control of yourself, your body, you have that body autonomy, you have that physical space, you feel in control of your life regardless of what happens, and do your moods and your feelings and your thoughts. That is where true power comes, and that's when you start to share your life purpose with others. So just moving that energy through, continuing to move that energy through, just working through the aura and cleansing that. And with each breath you're taking, I want you to become more and more comfortable with yourself. And what I mean by that is, I am enough. And that I have lived the exact life I needed to live to have an expansive present. I have lived the exact life I needed to live to have an expansive present. I have lived the exact life I needed to live to have an expansive present. And accept that you were chosen to live an expansive life regardless of where you came from or your situations before, regardless of how you felt prior to coming into the session, that you were chosen simply by being you. That was the only prerequisite. You don't have to prove anything. Nothing is required. Please don't prove anything. Just be yourself and follow the gifts and the passions that you have in your heart, that have been placed in your heart. You have to live them out, whatever it is. And if it's unconventional, you'll figure it out. It'll always come into line. But just make sure you go for it and go after it, okay? So just shifting this energy, encouraging you to do it your way, okay? You know how to do it. Just do it your way. Just do it your way. Do it your way. Do it your way. Okay. Just bringing that back in line, shifting that energy, allowing it to focus, 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 focus. Okay. So I'm going to bring in some cleansing cinnamon, my herb of choice. I'm sure your herb of choice is whatever it is. Feel free to be expansive and to explore. So with cinnamon, I love that it's always so grounding. I love that it is constantly burning. I'm very connected to root chakra energy, and it has a very root chakra balancing type of energy. And it is cinnamon. It's cinnamon, love. It is cinnamon, okay. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay.
all of this in the name of I am. Ashe, 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 and so it is, and so it be. Let that thing be, y'all. So just relax. I'm just gonna use my fingers to do a little bit of combing. And what I really love about this, it kind of gives you a nice little scratch. You ever like somebody scratch your back? Oh my gosh. Scratch your back or scratch your scratch. If you know about braids, get your scalp oiled. Oh, that's next level. So it's nice, just a little energetic scratch. Just to relax you. Just to feel at peace. Just to feel connected to this beautiful, wonderful, higher self, higher purpose that you have. And it's almost like initiating this empowerment within you to step out and be the true self that you are, as well as just relaxing you. It's just a nice relaxing, relaxing session. Now tell me, how are you all enjoying Sacred September's? Go ahead and comment that. How is Sacred September treating you? I really wanted to focus on some very energetic concepts of just releasing and letting go, so that you feel your highest vibrational good. And it was really exciting to start Patreon in Sacred September, because we get even deeper to a lot more learning. And there's card pulls and meditations, and just, it's so much fun. I'm having a great time, and I really wanted to make it different than what we're doing here, but at the same time still for self-healing, still for knowledge, still for relaxation, tingles, and fun. So that's been fun. That's been an exciting treat. So continue to relax here. I'm just gonna go back into smoothing that aura. In smoothing the aura, what this is when we're done with our practice, you usually notice that showing people how to give you less, honestly. And always give yourself more, because you deserve so much more. Always, always, always give yourself more and release the past. Release the old ways of things. Release the limiting beliefs, or that you are not deserving of something, because you are very much so deserving of beauty and love. So just be in a state of gratitude. That's so important in your healing journey and in your empowerment journey too, as you manifest. peace with yourself. Okay? As I am just removing any negativity in your life, any uncertainty, anything that needs clarity, I'm just going to remove that from this beautiful space that is you and release it on to its next. Release it on to its next. Release it on to its next karmic experience. And so I'm going to go very slow here and very thorough, okay? Breathe in and out. Exhale. Remove, release. Again, breathe in and out. Exhale, remove, and release. Breathe in and out. Exhale, remove, and release. Breathe in and out. Exhale, remove, and release. Breathe. Breathe. And so let's just take out anything that no longer serves you in this beautiful experience of life that you are having. Relax into this. Breathe into yourself, into your space, into who you are, and how you do whatever it is that you do when you're doing it, okay? So, just bringing that energy down from the crown all the way down, from the crown to the third eye, the throat to the heart to the solar plexus to the sacral to the root, back up. Okay, and back down again. Let me fix your bangs for you. I'm breathing through this experience. Breathing through this experience. Relaxing into this experience. Releasing any expectations from this experience. And just have fun. Do you remember that when you were a child, you could just have fun? You didn't overthink it. You didn't overthink it. There were no expectations. It's just, I'm gonna have some fun. And it was very simple things. Very, very simple things. And you just allowed it to be. You never questioned the fact that it was fun. You just allowed it to be. So let's work towards getting you back there, because that is where your creativity flourishes. That is where your power grows. That is where your healing happens, and that's where your manifesting happens as well. So just moving through this energy in such a clear and compassionate way for yourself towards your highest good. I want you to take a deep breath in, okay? Exhale as I give you this S curl. Inhale. Exhale. Final breath. Inhale. Exhale and release. Let go. 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 Release. 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 And let it go. Let it go. Let it go. How are you enjoying this experience, sweetness? I just want to check in with you. Make sure that you are still feeling nice, relaxed, and calm. Breathing in and out. Moving through anything that needs to be released. No needing to connect to something that no longer serves you. Removing it and taking it out of your life. Sending it on to its next path somewhere else. just for your experience, okay? Let's bring this in to you, in to you, in to you. Bring this experience in to you, in to you, and in again to you. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. I'm there for you. But be there for yourself. You're not alone. There are so many here on the same journey, finding their way, doing their best, myself included, and it's all going to be okay. All of this is going to be okay. You are okay. You are better than okay. You are more than enough. So breathe this in and release what no longer serves you and services you. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go again. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Good job, sweetness. Okay, so I'm just going to take it right in the front and just very slowly. Yes. Yes. Good job. Relax into this, into who you are. Show up as yourself. Be your best presentation to the world of who you are. But you must define what that is. Don't ever let anyone else do that, okay? This is for you to define. This is for you to define you. To define you. To define, inhale, exhale. Relax, release into who direction. Live. Live in that direction. And trust yourself. And trust yourself. And trust yourself. And trust yourself. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Keep breathing here. Never let go of the energy within you that grows. Never let go of the energy within you that grows. Never let go of the energy within you that grows. And let's just move that through. Okay. A couple more here. Good job. Another breath. Relax, and I'm going to go as slow as possible. Just going as slow as possible. Slow as possible. Good job. And just removing that with every exhale, you're releasing something that no longer serves you on this path. And just get it out your way. Allow it to move and be removed. Allow it to work the way that it needs to work. And breathe the way that it needs to breathe. Good job. Good job. Inhale, exhale. Beautiful. What loving energy that you have. Good job. And moving through this experience for your highest growth, your highest good. So I'm just going to take any excess energy out as well as pull and just comb through any of this beautiful energy that you would like to stay, okay? Good job. 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 How lovely, 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 lovely. Lovely, 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 lovely. Lovely, 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 lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. How lovely. How lovely. Goodness, what beautiful energy that you have. And I hope you enjoy each moment of this, each space, each movement, each movement, each understanding, each understanding, each space of growth, each space of growth, and ultimately accepting yourself, right in the element of the comb. So it's just like, you ever had somebody brush your hair, or like, I don't know if you've ever had braids and someone like run their fingers through your, like the parts. Oh baby, next level right there. So this is an energetic way to just relax you, and the point is just relaxation. We'll get into some healing work as well, but just try it, okay? And we're just working through that energy that is around you. So, breathing in here, I'm going to do the Reiki symbols like this, and I want you to just breathe through this. Reiki symbols are symbols that Reiki practitioners use that invoke certain aspects. Sometimes it's power, sometimes it's emotional healing, energetic healing, spiritual healing, completion, distance healing, all of those things. So I'm going to go through them and do them, okay? Okay. So this just sets the tone here. Now, you can find yourself closing your eyes if you like, if it feels right for you, and start to connect with yourself. Just be in your body. Just be in the moment, enjoying you. Feel the pure joy from getting to be you. Can you see your gifts? Think about them. Think about the things you're good at. Can you see them? People may often describe to you what your gifts are. Maybe you have a gift of healing, a gift of intuitive or psychic work, clairvoyance. Perhaps you have the gift of gab, you're able to talk, or you are a social connector. You're able to connect others. Maybe you're great at leading. Maybe you're able to be an individual or the first one to do something. You don't really follow the crowd. Maybe you're really good with numbers. Maybe you're really good with food. That's one of my gifts. I can cook. Maybe you are that healing friend that people just love to be in your company. Maybe you're the fun one. You keep the energy going. Sometimes people come to visit me and I will just say to them, I don't want to hear nothing sad today. We laughing all day. So if that's not what you're trying to do, you need to go home. That typically makes them laugh. Okay. So just working through some of those energies with the symbols and feel confident in who you are, okay? A lot of times in life, you have to get comfortable with who you are, exactly as you are. And it becomes easier over time. You don't worry about it as much. But when you're younger, baby, everything seems so like make or break. It's not. If an opportunity passes, it's typically because there's a better one. And that's just how it is. So breathing into this. And let's remove any stagnant energy that needs to be let go. So any sadness or feeling like, let's let that go. Any numbness, let's let that go. Any physical pain as well. Being mindful to move the energy into the area of the body that needs to let go of any physical pain. that solidifies your strength, that makes you appreciate the journey, and also makes you celebrate you for how great you are, how amazing you are, how much you've shown up in these different spaces. So just breathe through this. Just remember, anything you want, you can have. And if something's not coming to you, it's because there's something bigger and better for you. And you define what is bigger and better. It's not based off of what society tells you you should want. It's based off of what you want. And the more that you chase after what you love, what is important for you, the closer your soul becomes and goes into its pure peace. That's when you really make magic happen. And always climbing and going in that direction. Give yourself permission to dream. Give yourself permission to have fun. Give yourself permission to roam through your imagination, building up worlds and realities that could come to be. Give yourself permission to celebrate you. Give yourself permission that any dream you want can come true. Give yourself permission. Feel it. Feel it in this moment. Accept it. Accept it in this moment. Enjoy it. Enjoy it in this moment. 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 Okay, so babies, I'm going to just do some concentrated combing. And I place my hand up as a way to just continue to keep the energy balanced. That's it. Keep breathing here. Enjoy this. I'm gonna get you S, girl. Inhaling and exhaling, relax. Relax into this. Unapologetically be yourself. Unapologetically go after what you want. Unapologetically connect with yourself. Be there with and for yourself. Be there with and for yourself. Be there with and for yourself. How are you feeling, babies? Are you resting? Are you connected to your great power? Are you at peace with how powerful you are? You're very magical. You're very full of alchemy, but in a very practical way. Anything you want can happen, it can come to be. Just allow it to come to you. Put it out there and enjoy life along the way. Going on so many journeys at one time, but enjoying the patience of that journey as a whole. A couple more moments here. Breathing in and out. And final moment. Okay, family. embrace what you uniquely and truly love. That is how you find peace, connectedness, health, wealth, and balance. Well, family, if no one has said it to you, babies, let me go ahead and say it to you. I love you. But who cares if I love you? The only thing that matters is if you love you. So, I'll see you